Crime.
Let's get it together.
Education.
Let's get it together.
Marriage.
Let's get it together.
Politics.
Let's get it together. Full circle.
Poverty.
Let's get it together.
Race.
Let's get it together. Full circle. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Full Circle Podcast Show. I am Darryl E. McCullough, the same poet, along with A. Whitney Petty, joining us again from the Windy City.
I love to be with you guys. Glad to be here.
Beautiful, beautiful. And speaking of beautiful, we are, as always, we're joined by, I'm not going to say I love her like a sister, but I'm going to say she's close. I'm going to say like a play sister.
Okay.
First cousin.
First cousin, play cousin. That's what we are. That's what we are. And we are having a wonderful week. Lots of stuff to get to, but let's get ready to have some fun. We're doing this from a liberal, conservative, and an independent perspective. So
You get it from all angles. You get it from all angles.
It's the full circle.
Yep.
So what's going on in the world this week is we've got so many things. We've got ISIS shooting in San Bernardino. We've got the Fox newscaster suspended. We've got Michelle Obama's rapping. We've got Trump and all of his nonsense and mess. And yeah, I said it. We've even got the Wiz on deck for what's been going on through the week. But one of the things that has really caught my eye in the news has been the inflammatory and incendiary comments of Justice Antonin Scalia. He sits on the Supreme Court, the highest court of the nation, and he's made some of the most racially divisive comments of the week. And he is going to get my sound off this week.
Give it to him, Carmen.
And this right here is actually not in my own words, but it's coming from Carl Snowden, who's the CEO of his own company. And he says these things. I warn you in advance, do not get on this school bus unless you are prepared to take a journey and hear the bus driver tell you something that you will not like. You have been warned. He goes on to quote Scalia as saying, there are those who contend that it does not benefit African Americans to get them into the University of Texas where they do not do well, as opposed to having them go to a less advanced school on a slower track school where they do well, said the Supreme Court Associate Judge Antonin Scalia. When Scalia made this racist comment from the United States Supreme Court bench, he sent a signal that only a fool would ignore. His racist and bigoted comment will rival that of the late Supreme Court Justice Judge Roger C. Taney, who in his infamous Dred Scott decision declared that black people had no rights that white people were bound to respect. In the statement by Judge Scalia, he maintains that African Americans going to quote unquote advanced white colleges would be better off attending quote unquote slower, i.e. black colleges. Every major news network and newspaper in America covered the comments. This right here is 2015. And what I have to say is this. If someone sitting on the bench does not respect that the Constitution itself declares all men created equal and endowed with inalienable rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Equality means equality. Now, here's the thing. Affirmative action policy protects equality. It does not discriminate in reverse. The reason why is because historically in this country, there have been no laws that were bound to protect people of color and minorities. And if that justice sitting on the Supreme Court does not understand equality, all men are created equal, he cannot serve effectively or uphold the laws of this nation. That's my sound off.
Wow.
Okay.
And you are right to sound off about that. Who gives him the right? And let me go back. When you have students apply to universities, whether it's Texas, whether it's Spelman, whether it's Clark University, they still have to have scores to get in. They still have to have decent grades to get in.
Correct.
So what he's saying to me is nonsense tomfoolery.
What people misunderstand is they think that having set aside positions that are open to people of color means that no matter the ability level of that person, what it means is it gives a track of admission to people who are qualified.
Thank you. That
Okay.
are qualified.
That are qualified. And hold a position open that they may not otherwise have been able to even be in. Here's my bottom line. My thing is, when we deal with, the level of, opportunity, it's not about whether or not someone is getting it and they're not qualified. This is opportunity. Historically, we couldn't even be in the room. We couldn't even be in a running. Okay. So a lot of people will say, well, these aren't those times, and things are more equal now, this, that, and the third. I look at your resume, and you may very well have a nondescript name, whatever, what have you, and wouldn't be able to tell or whatnot.
Right.
But once you get to the point of the interview, you
Yep.
don't want to be excluded.
Right.
You don't want to be excluded from having the doors open. And that bothers me. What bothers me is this guy is saying he's not even getting us to the interview. He's saying that we're not as advanced as people. That's not fair. That's the bottom line. Not fair, not right, and ain't cool.
We're second-class citizens according to what he's saying.
It's
you know what I'm saying? And the thing that got us here was that you didn't allow us to go to schools where there were white students. You didn't allow us to get in there. So you guys brought that on yourself.
It's a problem. I think he should recuse himself because he's no longer effective. Point blank. Period. He's no longer effective as a justice.
Right.
Now, my rant goes against despite Fox News being a fantastic broadcasting station.
Really?
Say what now?
Right.
Okay.
I-
I'm gonna. You know what? It's a fantastic broadcasting station.
Well,
it is.
okay.
It's an entertainment station.
It's an entertainment.
They brought you Empire. You guys like Empire, right?
It's a great entertainment
Wait,
institution.
Don't you-
Hold on. I need to ask this question.
It's a great entertainment institution.
Did you say you guys?
You
He
guys
said
like
it.
Empire,
That's-
don't you?
it's
That's
what-
you wanted that, so you
I
got
don't.
your Empire.
I don't do Empire.
Hey, take
but
it
okay.
easy
Hey,
now.
My
it's-
rant is how disrespectful the newscasters were. Stacey Dash and I forget the other gentleman's
Stacey
name.
Dash insignificant.
Clueless.
Very disrespectful. You
Clueless.
called the president a P word on national television. I don't understand, how disrespect of the president, regardless, even going back to George Bush on SNL, different things. Go to other countries. They don't do that. You need to respect the person in high authority. That's just
If not the person in the office itself, and that is.
whether you like what they're doing or not.
But this is my thing. To me, this president has been disrespected more, in my opinion, than any other president.
You lie.
Hold
You
on.
lie.
That's what I'm saying. That's the key. When you're doing the State of the Union address and someone gets up and says, you lie, totally disrespectful.
I would have done it to Romney, but okay.
But you know
I'm
what?
just playing.
Right. But you
I'm
know
just
what?
kidding.
He would deserve it. But I'm
Yeah.
saying, this guy, this guy, whoever's in the White House represents us all.
It's the office. You respect the
It's
office.
the office.
Yeah.
I agree.
So who's got better bars, the Pope or Michelle Obama? I'm rolling with Team Obama bars. Michelle was putting it down. She had the little rap video this week. I thought that was pretty cool. I think she is probably the coolest first lady
Yeah, I'm
that
crazy,
we've ever
about
had.
Michelle
Right.
Obama.
She's awesome.
I definitely like her a lot.
And then there's your boy,
Oh man,
the Donald.
the Don.
There's another D word. Never mind.
Yeah, yes it is.
I'm just saying, but
Less words though.
So please help me with him. Help me with this whole Trump thing because I can't get
You
there.
know what? The word on the street is that he's on Hillary Clinton's payroll. First off, Republicans have to have someone of celebrity stature to even compete with Hillary Clinton. So they got Trump.
Is this
Carlson, the other guy, okay, so if Trump is out there, they're saying that he's going to go all the way and then he's going to back out and then Hillary's going to take it. Carlson, he hasn't a chance. No president, we're not going to have a president with a goatee. It's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
But we had them with beards back in the day.
Beard and a goatee, two different things.
What does goatee represent to you? What does a goatee represent to you?
Slick.
Oh wow! Of all the things, of all the adjectives that I would use to describe him, slick is not one of them. No, I'm just saying, as far as Carlson himself, what I'm trying to get to is all of the incendiary comments and all of the like rhetoric from the Trump campaign. It's tapping into something. So tell me where that's coming from a Republican or conservative standpoint. I don't get it because it sounds very, divisive, sounds very hateful, sounds
He's
very
on his own.
racial.
However, this is going to go into what we're talking about in a few minutes. We are in a politically correct society. Some people are into that and some people are not. So Trump has a voice of saying no.
He does have a voice, but
I don't think that's politically correct.
But you can't even say no. You got to say, well, let's work in I mean, everything, as we started out, kumbaya is not always the way. And I'm not saying I'm for Trump. I'm not saying I'm against. I'm saying no.
In terms of kumbaya, are we throwing common decency out? I mean, that's kind of where we're at. It's like people use politically correct as a term to throw being cordial, being decent, having manners out of the window.
But this is the deal with this Trump thing. Trump historically has been siding with Democrats. That's what he said. So my thing is what Darryl said. It's no way that this guy thinks when he gets to the general, after talking about all these people. Talking about
God, he's alienated every single
dissect him like they do everybody else. He isn't going to have a chance. Okay.
My God,
he's not. I'm just being realistic about that.
Well, no, he's not. When he gets to the general, it's a done
insane.
deal.
It's really insane. But what bothers me is the level of vitriol that he's tapping into. He's tapping into something. There is an undercurrent of something. You say it's a backlash on political correctness,
and he has a fan base.
Yeah,
there's no doubt.
And they're fans. I think they're fanatics.
but you know what he's tapping into? He's tapping into, and I'm gonna go here because this is what the show is about. I think the country, in my opinion, is not happy with having a black president. I think that's what it is. Hold on. I think that the people that he's tapping into, they are uneducated, my opinion. They're uneducated. They're people that just want to, get a white person back in the office. That's just my take.
White people helped get Barack Obama elected.
Not all.
Okay. So
what do you want? What do you people want?
You people.
You got your BET. Oh, wow. You got your unsung. I mean, what?
One word for you.
You got Obama in there. Twice.
One word for you. Take it easy.
Okay.
I don't understand.
Take it easy.
Well, I guess one of the big
You got
things...
your whiz on twice. I mean, what do you want?
But I'm saying, do you...
Oh, wait. Did you hear about the controversy with
this is it. This is it.
It was hilarious. Okay, the Wiz was a Quincy Jones vehicle in the 70s. That was a spin-off of The Wizard of Oz, which
in the 30s,
which starred Judy Garland, and it was a
wonderful all-white cast.
But it's a fairy tale. It's an awesome story.
This
is like a soulful version of it, The Wiz, that and it was something that it's awesome to see something like that. Viewership was insane through the roof, and then you had the nuts on Twitter talking about if there was an all-white cast, it would be such. I'm like, this was the most insane. I feel like people who forget the past are doomed to repeat it, and we're living in a, that the quote unquote take the country back type of thing.
Right.
And my thing is, back to what and back to where? Do you understand?
Okay. The Wiz. I watched the new one. And it was okay. I'm not a big musical guy, but it's good. It's nice. Okay, it's nice. Okay.
But-
Richard Pryor was the Wiz. There was a man in The Wizard of Oz who was the Wiz. Richard Pryor was the Wiz.
Right.
I'm gonna get
In the Wiz. Now, for this remake of the Wiz, Queen Latifah was the Wiz.
Oh, I'm gonna get so much trouble for this. Okay. First thing I thought of when I saw her was she's wearing a Pastor Rance Allen wig.
I mean,
Right.
I thought she looked like Rance Allen. I quit. Okay, I'm not gonna say that. I love you, Pastor. I love you.
But now let me say this.
I do, and you can say.
Let me say this. The main thing that everybody was tweeting about was that it was an all black cast.
Yeah.
The original one was an all white cast back in when it was.
Wizard of Oz.
Right,
I mean,
right.
and there've been a billion productions of it.
Right. But let me hit you with a few programs that are on TV that are majority white.
Okay.
Modern Family, ABC. Community, NBC has a couple. Good Wife, few. Mad Men, none. Raising Hope, no minorities. Breaking Bad, no minorities. Sopranos, no minorities. Seinfeld, no minorities.
whoa.
Seinfeld had one, maybe one or two.
No, they did not. You mean
Who?
Come on.
I'm saying in the cast. Wait, but hold
You're
on.
talking about a significant.
Significant, right? That's what I'm saying. It's
The
significant.
main cast.
Right, the main cast.
I'll let you go with all those other ones, but I'm not going
Seinfeld.
to. You're not going to sit up here and you're not going to say something bad about Seinfeld.
I love Seinfeld.
Even
I
though
love,
Kramer got a pass.
I can't deal.
right, I love it, but I'm saying it's crazy for someone to even tweet that.
So we're looking at, from media perspective, the lack of representation is going to be what we talk about today, and
Right.
it's kind of very cool that we're in this space, because what's happening is, when you do find that there is representation, whether it be in the media, whether it be in a political sphere, whether it be even in athletics or whatever, there's a level of scrutiny that goes along with what it is that we do, as well as, why is there only one or two people at a time on the people of color on the A list of what's considered celebrities?
Right,
Okay.
right.
Things like that. Those are questions that we really need to explore. And I don't think that it's an indictment of, white America. I think it's an indictment of America as a whole, and what we all see, or what's in our psyche as the norm.
Right.
We live in a diverse society, and diversity itself matters in the media.
Right.
So,
But let me say this. I don't have a problem with a show on TV that's all white. I don't
Okay.
have a problem with that. What I
If it's
do
a good show.
Right. If what I do have a problem with is people complaining about when you put on all minority
Oh, yeah.
African American production. That's
Okay,
where
yeah.
my problem lies. Because you know what, in life, in our neighborhoods, it's not, as you said, kumbaya. It's not.
okay.
So that's my only concern, and my problem is that.
Well, got it. Yeah. Well, since we're here on this, let's just get right into our baseline topic for today. And what we're going to have today, we got a guest, Amber P. Knight. She is the host of Black Chick Watching, and also Black Sexy Geeky and Mental.
I like that.
Other podcasts. She'll be joining us over the phone lines. However, here at the Full Circle, we're trying to do better things for our viewership, our people listening. So we will have a few callers, hopefully later on today, before our guest.
Nice.
And here at the Full Circle, our guest picks the topic that we're going to talk about. And Amber picked for us today, diversity on television. Wow. Insert black person here. Now,
Hot.
I'm just going to lay the foundation here. Hey, I'm the biggest sellout in the world, okay?
Oh, wow.
No, wait a minute. What did, huh?
He said what? That's what he said.
Despite me being the biggest sellout in the world, I still have, I love racial pride.
Okay.
Whatever your ethnicity is, be proud of that. And there's nothing wrong with being proud of your ethnicity.
I like that.
Okay?
Yep.
However, the days of kiss me, I'm Irish on my shirt, those days are gone. because now that would be considered racist.
Why?
Because that's the way that you want things. You want
No.
you want everything right in the middle. You want
No, not so much. Being
if you
independent-
have pride in your race, as long as you don't think that you're better than anybody else, I love that. I love it.
Yeah, we agree. We agree.
Right.
So,
I think that what you're failing is what I think that you're mistaking is you're mistaking a backlash against racism as a backlash against race itself. There's absolutely nothing wrong with racial pride.
Well,
there's
our
something
children-
to be said that's awesome about racial pride. I love when there's a German American festival. I love when there's a Polish American festival. I love when people kiss me, I'm Irish. Hey, you might get a kiss. Hey,
Right, but and that's fine. And the thing is, just accept other races. That's the only thing. You can have pride in your own, but don't be discriminatory against other races.
but our children are being educated and our children are being educated to be colorblind.
Okay.
So if you're being colorblind, then I don't know if you really can have that. There's a limit on how much pride you have in your race without you being racist.
I
But
think
the-
you're missing the point. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
but the pride comes from within the family. You know what I'm saying? Your family can teach you pride in whatever your race is, but they also need to teach you not to be racist towards other.
One of the things that one of the prime tenets or prime displays of racism is discrimination. If you're not discriminating against other people because of your level of pride, I think that's a great
Right,
thing.
right.
Well, someone
Okay.
told me people don't have racial pride anymore. They have human pride. And that could be a good thing or a bad thing because they think that we live in a post-racial society.
There's nothing post-racial. I think we should see color, and I think we should see it for what it is, the beauty of it. There's a caller. We've got a caller. So why don't we get to the phones and kind of include everybody else in this game?
Caller, what's your name and where you calling from?
My name is Eric Taylor from Taylor, Michigan.
Eric Taylor from Taylor, Michigan.
Hey, Eric.
Welcome to the show, Eric.
Thanks
Hey.
for calling. We really appreciate it. Today's topic, we are talking about diversity on television. Insert black person here. Now, I'm just going to speak on a few things. The inserting a black person here, it's done in two ways that I've seen.
Okay.
The first way is superheroes. I'm going to tell you something. You don't ever want to piss off a nerd. Okay? A nerd is sitting in the room. He has nothing to do. He's got no dates.
Oh, see,
He's
what?
got his comic books.
Right.
And when you change that foundation, things happen.
Okay.
Now, they did this in the Fantastic Four, which was a flop because they're trying to inculcate these, put a black person here. Yeah, boom. Nobody will care. They do care.
Did you see the first set of Fantastic Fours? Did you see the first set with Jessica Alba?
Yeah.
And what did you think of those?
It was good.
I thought those were okay. I like those
Yeah.
too. I thought those were
Yeah.
good.
But so you really believe that the character makes a difference if it's black or white?
Are you kidding?
I
tell
don't
you
see
what.
I'm
that.
gonna, you know what
you
though?
know,
I'm
so
gonna
what?
side with you here. I'm gonna side with you, dear, because I'm a nerd as well. And there's no way that Johnny and Sue Storm, they're brother and sister.
And
Okay.
and they flipped this. Now I'm gonna go over here. We got Star Wars.
Right.
Oh man, they're gonna set this film on fire because of this black guy who's like some main
He's a
central character.
stormtrooper. Do you realize? You do remember in the episode 5 when they cloned Jango Fett? Jango Fett was actually Samoan, so I don't see the issue there.
Well, I mean, and
Jango
then
Fett was played by a Samoan actor,
This
so
is
this is a
huge.
person of color. I don't think that's
I-
not
I
a huge leap
I
for
can
me.
go with all those, but
He's-
you know who else is gonna be black? Do you know who else you guys want to be black?
Who?
Captain America.
One more time.
He's not.
You guys.
Chris Evans is Captain America.
No,
Chris
dear.
Evans is Captain America.
dear.
You can't tell me no different. Chris Evans is
When the
Chris
show's
Evans
over-
is Captain America.
When the show is
and
over-
Chris Evans is Captain America. What I say?
I don't want to do a spoiler alert,
Mm,
but he's going to die, and you know who's going to
No.
take his place?
No.
Falcon. You know what color Falcon is?
But he cute though.
He's black.
That's
Captain America
He's
is
not
going
gonna
to be
take
black.
Well,
his
look, you guys are way above my head with this superhero stuff. You know what I'm
Falcon ain't gonna
saying?
take
And you know what's happening? You know who's saying genocide for the first time?
Chris Evans is fine.
White people.
Say what now?
White people.
Say what?
That's the ones who's screaming genocide.
How so? I don't understand what
Because-
you're doing. Where are you going?
Because they're inserting black people where white people used to be. I'm just stating
Oh,
the
I
fact.
see. Okay, there's the leap. You took a leap there. I wasn't with you.
I'm saying Captain America is the pinnacle of all.
He is Captain America.
But let me say this.
Caller, we haven't forgot about you. We're getting right to you.
Real quick, the civil rights movement has allowed this to happen in a sort of way for everything to be equal. It allowed this to happen. So I don't understand here.
Well, I'm thinking in some cases maybe it's going too far. But caller, you still with us?
I'm
Yeah,
looking up
I
Captain
called
America
back.
Civil War.
I got a question for you. I've been notified that you're in an interracial relationship, right?
Yes, I am.
How long you been married?
8 years.
Congratulations. Listen,
Congratulations.
are you happy with are you happy seeing not only more diversity on television, but more interracial couples as well?
Basically, I'm indifferent about the situation. I don't care. I just like TV, man. But it's good to see that there's people out there like me, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I moved to Detroit, I was so happy, man, because when I walked at the door, everybody looked like me. And now when I look on TV, it's people that look like me. Me and my
point.
wife. So,
That's a good
I'm
point.
excited about it.
I like that. I like that
Yeah,
answer.
yep.
And I'm still looking up Captain America Civil War because you're bothering me. Chris Evans is Captain America. By the way, what I'd like to know is, do you believe that there's too much of a presence of interracial couples? You said that they look like you. Do you think it's for the marketing to interracial couples, or do you think that there's some sort of ploy underneath that? What's that?
I think it's simply about the money. You know what I mean?
Oh,
It's
you
all
do
about
think it's
money.
about the money. And I
Yeah.
agree 100% with that.
Yeah.
I think when there's a nameless cereal that no one's buying, and they say, "Hey, we want to do a commercial." No, don't have a white couple. Don't put a white couple there. Don't put a black couple. Put an interracial couple. And they got what they wanted. They wanted that controversy. People are talking about that, and they used interracial relationships as a pro, but it also was a backwards compliment because they use it as a marketing ploy.
But I'm gonna go back to the civil rights movement. The movement gave us options.
Okay.
It made things acceptable now. It's not all.
like it.
It's not there yet, but that's what it did. That's what we asked for.
Oh, so you
We-
asked
we-
for
but-
the black
but-
guy
but-
jumping
but-
off the bridge on the North Face
but
commercial.
listen,
That's what you want.
Don't
Why
get
not?
Black people don't jump off
Don't
bridges.
get crazy.
But why not?
Black people
But what
don't
what I'm saying,
mountain climb.
but what I'm saying
kinda
is,
do.
we didn't like not being able to look at a white woman down south. We did not like to not be able to eat at counters. All of that is tied in.
So you
That-
want,
that's
so-
what you
so-
get
so
with the
you
civil
want black
rights.
people wearing shorts in the
So
summertime.
what
now.
I'd like
That's
to-
what you want us wearing.
Not as
shorts in
short as the
summertime.
ones you wear, but whatever.
I'd like to, let's bring the caller back into this.
Question number 3. We got
Okay,
one?
here we go. Now let me ask you something, Eric.
Okay.
Nowadays, I know before people got looks when you're in interracial marriages. Do you still get those looks? Do you still get those comments? Do you get them more from African Americans, or do you get them more from Caucasians, or do you get them at all?
Well, you know, Trey, I'm honest, right?
Right, I know.
But I get the looks from black women more so than I get looks from everybody else.
Wow.
Right.
And for the simple fact, and I'll explain to you why. Usually black women, I'm being honest, because I got 3 black sisters.
Right.
Oh,
They
gosh.
don't mind a white woman getting a black guy who just did an 8 year stint in the pen.
Oh,
Right.
Lord.
But since I'm kind of like an educated black guy, I don't beat on my woman or something like that.
Right.
Oh, my gosh.
They consider me a catch.
Right.
So why should I should be there for them instead of my current wife, who I love to death.
Okay. Can I interject? And I have to speak on this simply because, trust me, that's not the reason why. And I say that because no. I'm gonna
So
give you
you're
this.
admitting that you look.
No. I'm gonna tell you what. My son is dating a white young lady who I absolutely adore and love. My son is a college graduate. My son is a catch, yeah, and I'm biased. And I don't look at it from any type of perspective as far as, who he should or shouldn't be dating. I believe people should like what likes them, okay? Period.
And you're right, but let me say this. Eric is absolutely correct. My opinion, I've seen that. I've
Really?
seen looks because I've dated outside of my
Really?
race. And I've seen looks by women, and I've seen looks and heard racial slurs by Caucasian males about me dating a white woman. I've seen that, and I've seen it.
That's unfortunate. That really is. And
I'm not saying it's every case.
I'll just say in general, I hate that generalization for black women, because one thing that I will say is this: the dating pool itself is very small. I've been married for 20 years, and I see and understand that for my sisters out there, the dating pool is very, very small.
Right.
Too many times women tend to limit themselves. Women of color in general tend to limit themselves even more so. Right. So that could be an issue. That could be an issue.
And what you just said is right. I hear a lot of African American women say, it's nothing out there. You've got the sagging pants, you've got the uneducated, you've got the weed smokers, you've got all of that. Not that anything's wrong with it, but I'm saying I've heard people say that I can't find anybody.
Part of that is because of them limiting their own dating pool themselves. Because if you won't date outside of your race, or you choose not to, then you can't put your views on someone else because they choose to.
But you
Now,
can have your
let
views.
me just interrupt for 1 second.
Right.
Eric, we want to thank you for calling. We got to keep things moving.
Okay.
Thanks, Eric.
Thank you.
My best for you and your family, okay?
Yeah, God bless.
All right, you too.
Take
All right.
care.
Thanks.
All right.
I think that, okay, I'll go here. What do Parenthood, Minority Report, How to Get Away with Murder, Scandal, The Flash, and Being Mary Jane have in common?
Do tell.
They all have a black woman with a white man. That is the hot thing right now, okay? And I think, as what we were talking about, this gentleman, black with the white woman, we've digested that already. The new meal on the table is the black woman with the white man. And to me, I feel that it's destroying the black family.
Really?
Because we watch,
You know what that says to me?
we see this on television, and then we have black women that say, you know what, girl,
There's the
I'm
double
going to
standard.
get me a white man.
There's the double standard.
But
What we just talked about. There's the double
but
standard.
the thing about it is that says to me that you're racist.
It's
There's the double standard.
I'm a realist. I'm
Yeah,
a realist.
but that's what that
And
says to me.
I can't be racist because I've dated out of my race. I've done
There's
this.
the double
I've done this.
standard.
I'm the black
your
guy that's supposed
conversation-
to have a white wife.
but your
I don't have a mustache. I don't know if you don't know that.
I don't either. But let me say this.
Yeah, but you from Detroit.
Wow.
See, here we go. Here we go.
By the way, Anthony Mackie is going to remain the Falcon. He will not be Captain America.
You-
I said
okay,
earlier,
I'll tell
and
you
I
what.
will reiterate,
I'll tell you what.
Chris Evans is Captain America.
I tell you what. I don't know what the bet's going to be,
Okay.
but I think they call it when you know it's going to win. It's a fool's bet. That's what it is.
I'm not going to bet. I'm just going to state for the record that Chris
Okay.
Evans is Captain America, period. Okay.
All right.
And let me just
Back
ask.
to what we were
Let me get here. So what is your core issue? I need to know the core
The
issue
black
here.
family.
How is it Go ahead.
There is. We are not there. We're not there, and you know we're not there.
I can agree with that.
We are so busy trying to make other people feel comfortable so that we eat their pumpkin pie and spinach, but we're afraid to even accept our own
Okay, how is
sweet
that the
potato pie
black
and
woman's?
sweet potato
This
pie
is
and
what I
collard
don't
greens.
understand.
You understand what I'm saying?
How is it the black
But
woman's
you-
responsibility to make other people feel comfortable when we've been asked to accept interracial relationships when it comes to, black male, white female, whatever, what have you, or whatever race or whatnot? Why is it then that it becomes an issue or a quote unquote meal on the table when when a black woman decides to date outside of her race or expand her horizons?
You know what?
you-
You know what?
you-
I don't want to. I don't want to quote. I'm gonna quote some more.
Let's
I'm gonna
do
quote
that.
some more.
Go ahead, go
I
ahead.
love some
But
more.
let me
okay?
answer. Let me answer.
Okay.
Now, I love some more. And she said that people who date out of their race, white people, are orally fixated. Why did I date white women?
What now?
Why did I date white
I don't
women?
follow.
You see the look?
Why did I date white women?
Eyebrows up.
Help us.
Because the rumor was they were doing certain things that a lot of black women were not doing.
Here
and it
we
took
go.
a long time.
Wow.
Okay? All right. Now,
You're killing me
Here
here.
we go.
listen, I'm just stating the
You-
fact.
you're killing
I'm
me
stating
here.
the fact.
That's so not a
Okay?
fact.
Well, how many black
That's
women have you
so
been with?
not-
But now you don't have to do that. That's the thing. There are a lot of black women who are handling everything that they need to handle, and you don't have to do that.
But you know what? All of that to me was, oh, I don't do this or I don't do that. But you don't know what's going on behind closed doors.
Oh my
You know what I'm saying? You don't know. You know, we can't say that a black woman won't do this or and a white woman will. You can't say it.
Come on.
You have to be in a situation.
Yeah.
That's what we've heard.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
Really?
I know.
Do
I'm
you?
not saying now. I'm
but
saying then.
I know the opposite.
I had a buddy. I brought a very attractive black woman to him, and he said, he said, oh man, you don't need that black woman anymore. You need to get you one of these white women.
Hey, let me
And
tell you.
that's what I did.
Let me tell you this right now. Let me tell you this right now. My sisters can get down. That's all I'm saying. My sisters can get down.
Okay, now back to what we were talking about.
Yeah, I said it.
Let's get.
And
I'm gonna sip this coffee.
I'm going
I'm
to
gonna
go
go
over
ahead.
here to the other
I'm
way.
gonna sip this coffee.
and that is a compliment.
All right, now I'm going to go over here another way that they're inserting a black person.
Okay.
Now this goes to what you brought up.
Okay.
There is a 2 black minimum on most television shows.
I agree.
That's
I agree.
funny.
It's funny you said that. I agree.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's weird that, and what they do, they'll have one black person and he's over here as this character, and then they'll have another one, and that's when they insert them into that interracial relationship. And again, that's how they get that marketing share. Okay, we got the white people. Now we got to get the black people. How can we get the black people?
Oh, Shonda Rhimes, what have you done?
We're gonna bring her into an interracial relationship. It's a
here-
backwards compliment.
How about this? How about this? How about the fact that they exist? Number one, interracial relationships
Exactly,
exist.
yes.
Number one.
It's part of society.
How about that? It speaks to
Right.
to the demographic of the
Thank
people
you.
that watch.
Right.
I mean,
How many shows did I name?
Quite a few.
You got to see that this is strictly for the market share.
Okay, well, let me ask you, who watches this? If black women are watching this, okay, these TV shows, because quite a few of them that you've mentioned are the ones that are, let's say, hot among, let's say, black women watch Scandal. They have Scandal parties that I know of, and How to Get Away with Murder and all of that stuff. These are, things that we're watching, and in terms of fitting into the larger society, you're saying that it destroys the black family, and that's really, really
That's off.
yeah.
That's what it is.
I mean, I don't get that that's destructive, because see, when we were watching LA Law, and when we were watching all those shows in the 90s where, there was interracial relationships with black men and things like that, there was not a backlash in the same way or to the same level or degree. Why is there this backlash?
Now, I think I got to make sure I think we got a caller.
Okay.
Give me 1 second.
Hi, caller.
Hey.
Caller, what's your name and where are you calling from?
My name's Ricky. I'm calling from California, Los Angeles, California.
Wow.
Ricky.
Oh, wow.
Hey,
Okay.
welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you.
Today's topic is diversity. Insert diversity on television. Insert black person here. So I got a couple questions for you. Okay. First
Okay.
off, thank you so much for taking the time out to call us.
Oh, absolutely.
Have you ever been involved in an interracial relationship?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
Yes. Yes. A couple times.
A couple times. All you had to do is all you had to do is say yes.
Hey.
just to let you know, I have some experience here.
Okay.
Perspective. Now we have perspective. Okay, good.
And a woman with perspective.
Okay.
Are you happy seeing more diversity on television, and also more interracial couples as well?
Okay. That being said, I will begin with, I do have a child who is a product of an interracial relationship resulting from that. So that being said, for the comfort of my child and for the direction that our society and the world is headed in, these things are something healthy for him to see. There are things that he needs to see because that's the world he's growing into.
Okay.
At the same time, the context as to what it's being presented on with the television, I'm an advocate for diversity myself. I'm more of an individualistic kind of person, be who you are, that kind of thing. Everybody embrace everybody authentically and all that stuff. So I really advocate that thing. However, it's just the context of where we're coming from. Are we coming from a healthy state with that? I had grown to learn over the years that initially when I had decided to date interracially, racially, that I wasn't coming from, I was in my own form of identity crisis.
Interesting.
So as far as what they're doing on television and whatnot, if they're, it doesn't seem like it's coming from the most, it's marketable, it's the trend and everything.
I love
but it
that
doesn't
people
seem to
are
have-
seeing
I
this.
get that, yeah.
I love that people are seeing this.
I think
Yeah.
that one of the questions, there was a question that I was going to ask, but hearing your perspective, do you think it's too fetishist? Do you think that it appears to be a fetish, or is it the taboo of it that makes it so, let's say, makes it the trend?
I think part of it is a fetish with a lot of individuals because a lot of us, again, looking at it individually, we are not developed as people individually. We are not working on self. We're not working on our personal growth and whatnot. We are, especially African Americans, in a lot of identity crisis, and we are chasing after things that have been conditioned and programmed into us. And so, yes, there are fetishes. There are, I want to be better. There are all these different things that are influencing some of this. And I'm not saying that's for everybody, but I just know that initially I was totally unaware of where I was coming from to some degree. There was some form of fetish in that. The contrast was beautiful to me at the same time.
Oh, yeah, that contrast color.
I looked up to some of these things, and I just wasn't aware of what I was doing, And not to say that I regret anything.
That's what I was
had
going
not
to ask, yeah.
explored that, I wouldn't have learned a lot about myself. At the same time, it's just I'm speaking more of like awareness. If,
Nice.
When what we do, what we decide to do, what we don't. So yeah, I think that everything comes into play. Fetish is everything.
Now let me ask you something. Are you currently in a interracial relationship now or in a relationship now?
Well, this is where I guess it wouldn't apply as technically interracial, depending on the definition of that. I'm with a non-black
Okay.
who is considered another minority who is Filipino.
Okay.
So,
That doesn't
however,
count.
It does too. Don't do that. Do not do that. Do not minimize her experience. Don't
Right.
do it. Do not do it. I'm not going to allow that. I think that's very cool. I love your perspective.
One more question for you.
Sure.
Now, let me ask you this. I know back in years prior, you know, people would get looks when when you were in an interracial relationship. Comments. Did you get that when you were in an interracial relationship with a Caucasian or whatever the case may have been?
Do you get it now even?
Absolutely, absolutely, all the time. I got it. Well, see, you know how we go through these shifts, and over the years, initially I would get tons of hate from black men.
Was that me?
It was like,
was it me?
was
Did I
like
see
the
you? I think
ultimate-
I know you. Go on.
Yeah, I know you,
I'm gonna
Darryl.
sip my coffee.
Wow.
There were it was a lot of, animosity I would experience from black men. You know, I would even be confronted and questioned, and sometimes we were riding through New York once, and some car drove next to us, just, following us down the street, yelling all kinds of things at us.
Wow.
What you doing with that player? What you doing? You need some chocolate. You need something like
Wow.
you. Like, what that? Yeah, it was bad.
Wow.
I'm like, isn't this New York? Isn't this supposed to be diverse?
But you're in California now. Is it now?
Yeah.
Now you've been in
In
different
Yeah.
states. Is it better there or different?
Now, I will say, in Los Angeles, you get a little bit of everything. I don't experience. The experience is totally different. Actually, I'm fascinated by it. However, it depends on some suburban areas. I do see some context of it, and it's there. I mean, it's deep seated in so many people. I don't think half the people that are reacting, even looks from blacks and whatnot, that are giving these looks and stares or comments. I don't even think they're aware of what they're really doing.
Wow.
I think it's just so deeply ingrained that it's just, I'm offended, and that's it, and that's all.
But you know what? I have to be honest here. I really have to be honest. I'm one of those guys that I do that.
Do you?
Yes, I look and say, why is she with him? And
Says the lightest skinned guy in Detroit. Go on. On
Hey,
136
hey,
in Cass.
Hey, hold on. Take it easy again.
Help
What
me
I'm
out.
saying is I have double standards with that. I will look at that and I will say, why is that? But I'm not going to go so far as to chase you or run you down and say,
Wow.
why. But in my mind, I'm saying,
Where's
why?
that coming from?
Well, I don't know. I'm trying to figure this out, and maybe I'll have the answer at the end. But at the same time, if I'm looking or dating a Caucasian woman, I don't have a problem with it. I'm like, okay, this is all right. So,
Yeah.
so it's
Wow.
screwed.
Isn't that
I'm
something?
screwed. Yeah, I'm
Isn't
screwed
that
up.
something?
Now, I'll tell you what, caller, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Absolutely. Thank you.
My best to you and your family.
God bless.
Thank you.
You just had to throw the God in there.
Stop playing with me.
But,
Okay.
But you know what? I'm going to go here, and then we're going to move to our guest. People say you cannot, and I hate hearing this, you can't control who you fall in love with. That is the biggest lie, because you don't fall in love.
Wow.
You walk in love.
Wow.
You walk in love. You saw that person. You talked to that person. You
There's
kissed
a
that person.
level
You
of-
had relations with that person. It just didn't just happen.
There's a level of attraction that is visceral. There's a level of attraction that you don't have control over. People like what they like. They see what they see. They like what they like. Now, love, yeah, love's a deeper level. But in terms of attraction, what attracts you attracts you.
And the
That's
thing
right.
about it, it's time that will get it further along. It takes time. You know?
I mean, there are some people that I think that one thing that bothers me in terms of that particular aspect, especially when people react, to interracial relationships or whatnot. My thing is, you don't know that, let's say, if that person weren't dating outside their race, you don't know that you'd be their type anyway. So, I mean, people like what they like,
And you're right. I agree with that.
Okay. Now, let's move to our guest. Amber, you there?
Yes, I am.
Beautiful.
Hi, Amber.
Welcome, Amber.
Hey.
Joining
Well,
us is Amber P. Knight. As I mentioned earlier, she is a fellow podcaster. Her podcast is Black Chick Watching.
Nice.
She's also has a podcast called Black, Sexy, Geeky, and Mental.
We don't talk about that one.
I love that title though.
Now, quick couple things for you, Amber. Thank you so much for taking the time out to join us. And Amber has
Absolutely.
helped me numerous times on setting things up for the full circle. So
Thank
I'm
you.
honored to have her.
Absolutely.
We appreciate you.
Quick thing, was I on mute during that last conversation? The last 2 minutes?
I don't know, but detecting your attitude, I'm glad you were. But no, go on.
I just wasn't sure when I said speak on it.
Girl.
Anyway.
Now, I just want to talk a little bit on your podcast, and I have a few questions for you. But your podcast is focuses on experiences in the world and things that you have seen and how you watch television, correct?
Yeah, the media in general.
Awesome. I think you probably have more perspective than anybody on this. I'd love to hear what it is
And
that.
trust me, I'm sure she's definitely gonna. She has an awesome opinion on
Light
a
it
lot of
up,
things.
light it up.
But firstly, I want to go. What made you start podcasting, and how long have you been podcasting?
Well, okay, so that's kind of a thing. So I do have a second. So my main podcast, you pronounced it incorrectly. It's actually pronounced the hit podcast Black Chick Watching.
Nice.
But if you look it up, it's just under Black Chick Watching. But its full government is that.
Yeah, well, thanks for correcting
All right,
him.
then.
Yeah, way to get it.
So my other podcast, the Baltimore, the one that we don't talk about, is about being a Black former burlesque performer, sci-fi fan with bipolar disorder.
Nice.
Yeah, and I wanted a thing where so I wanted to do a podcast with one of my friends and about nerdy things, and he's a white guy, and I was like, yeah, we can talk about Black chicks in Doctor Who, we can talk about Black chicks in this, and women of color in that, blah 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 blah. And he was like, these all sound like really cool ideas. I don't know if you noticed, but most of our first 10 episodes that you want to do are about race. And I'm not saying that he was wrong in pointing that out. But then I was like, oh, there can be too much blackness. There can be too much of it. So that was one thing. The other thing is mental health awareness is a big part of my life, breaking stigma. And I have bipolar disorder. And I promise this story ends eventually, okay? But I voluntarily checked myself into a psychiatric hospital. I ran out of coping skills. I needed help, and I got it.
Awesome.
And when I got out, I was a professional patient, going from doctor to nurse to therapist, psychiatrist, all this stuff, programs, groups, talks, all sorts of stuff. And I needed to talk to somebody who wasn't being paid to talk to me, and or wasn't another patient. So I started when I got out. I've been listening to podcasts since podcasts were podcasts. And I love the medium. When I got out of the hospital, they apparently don't have money for vouchers. So if you leave the loony bin, you have to take the bus home. That was a station.
No $200 to get on the bus, huh?
Wow.
Yeah, I had to take the public bus.
Right.
I had to take a bus to a train to a bus. But I was listening to a podcast. It was familiar. It was grounding. And it's So anyhow, I started the show as a way of getting my feelings out. Now, we're getting very close to why I started Black Chick Watching specifically.
Talk about it, girl.
I was talking to some friends. One was black and one was white, and he was basically like, why haven't you gotten over this? When I was talking about black women in media, we're not represented white, not represented correctly, and blah, 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 blah. He was like, why aren't you over this? I was like, because people kept recommending these super white shows like Mad Men, Sons of Anarchy, Game of Thrones. They're all amazing shows, and I get it. But the way I described it is it's like asbestos at a spa. It feels really good to be there, but it'll build up in your system until you get sick.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I started the podcast because it's like, listen, it's not called Women of Color Watching. It's not called African American Watching. It's not called Women Watching. It's Black Chicks Watching, because we get pushed to the margins even when we're talking about marginalized groups.
Right.
So I very unapologetically focus on Black women in particular, and I identify as Black. I'm not African American. It's a whole.
That's
what it is.
great.
Okay.
That's
I
great.
got a
I
question
like
for
that.
you.
I like
I got
that.
a question for you.
Go
I'm
for
going to
it.
go over here, and I'm going to come right back because the first thing is, the one thing that I noticed about you, some podcasters, you can tell that you're listening to someone in a group talking. And in other podcast shows, it sounds like they're talking to you. Like this is my friend, because they become so intimate. And Amber gets very personable in her podcast. Now, sometimes I think that just being amongst these friends here, this is like borderline therapy. Okay. And I think that a lot of times, sometimes you're talking to the people, but sometimes you're talking to yourself. Do you agree that it can be therapy? And then after that, I want to get into the criteria that you have for a Black chick watching.
It's very cathartic. It's nice to talk about things on my terms, and to not have to be apologetic about it, because in any conversation, it's about, community and communing with each other and a back and forth, and it enriches both people under the best circumstances, and I like that. But sometimes in my head, I'm like, shut the F up.
I do that to me. I do that to me a lot.
You know what I mean?
Talking
It's like,
heads.
you're wrong. Stop being wrong. And so it's nice to just vent about all the things that are in me and know that there are some people who are feeling me, and I hear from those people. It's like I'm not alone. So, yeah. And what was the other part?
The other one is you have, if someone recommends a show to you, you break it down. You have a certain criteria that it must fit before you watch it, correct? Am I understanding that correctly?
No, not before I watch it, but whether or not I like it or not.
Okay.
My system, some of the shows that I like don't actually pass, but I can only watch so many of those shows at one time. And but in general, it's like, this doesn't. It's not a rule that if it doesn't pass, but it just so happens that a lot of the things that don't pass are shows that I don't like.
Now, can you share a couple of those?
What's the
Sure.
system?
Yeah, I think Carmen would find it amusing.
What's the system?
Yeah.
I want to know.
Okay, it's a whole point system, and there's like a couple dozen of them. So I'll give you just a few. So in the positive section, I would give like a bunch of points if there's a Black chick as the lead or supporting character. But I take away points if she's like a mammy, or if
Wow. Yeah.
she's sassy,
Right.
or if she's violent or poor and stuff like that. So it kind of cancels it out, even if the star is a Black chick. And then there's a portion called Friends of the Family, where it's like if there's a person of color that isn't a Black chick. So if I see, a Black guy or a Asian woman or whatever, it's like there's points for that. Just
Nice.
not as much as if it's a Black chick. And the last section is called White Chick Watching, or the nickname is Shout Out to Sookie Stackhouse and her Magic Match.
Oh, really?
Are any of you
Wow.
True Blood fans?
Yeah, but I had to stop watching it, but go on.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm not caught up. I may never. But anyhow, Sookie Stackhouse is one of these pristine white women on a show where it's like people would die for her, literally. People would give up other people's lives for her. Somebody took a bullet to the head for her. Like, there's just all sorts of sacrifices over her and her magic match. So yeah, the white chick watching is basically like I take away points for every person who falls madly in love with her, because that's all I see. And she's the only sex symbol on the show. Points off for that. So yeah, there's a bunch of different stuff, and something that somebody's not going to want to hear. One of the things I take away points for is if there's a black guy pining after a white chick.
I love you. I love you.
I don't have the reverse, though. I don't take away points if it's a black chick with a white guy.
Okay.
It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing.
But
Now, isn't that interesting that she has, I love that she has standards, okay?
Nice.
And I'm not for certain, I don't know if she watches Empire or not.
Yes, I do.
Oh boy. I'm going to take away points. Go on.
Let me tell you why.
Okay, help me with this.
I have something called the wire syndrome.
The
Oh,
Wire.
yeah,
I love The
I
Wire.
love it, yeah.
The Wire was
yeah.
amazing.
It was.
Let me tell you something.
A-Wit lived the wire. Go
I
on.
was like, I cannot
Watch yourself.
go with another show about black people, and we're violent, and we're poor, and we sell drugs. It's like, I get it. Like, one of my friends that I trust, his opinion on shows, he's given me a lot of shows that I like. He was like, listen, give it a try. And till this day, it is the best show I have ever seen in my life.
Really?
Yes.
How do you feel about that, Darryl?
And because of that, I make sure, okay, let me give something a try, even if it's going to be a thing. So I gave Empire a try, and I was like, I should have given it a try. I think it's an amazing show. The first scene is this black woman with natural hair singing a song about her life, and Terrence Howard comes into the room, and he's like, you're not doing it with soul. You're not doing it right. And she's like, what do you want? And he's like, remember your brother when he died. Remember him.
I like that. I did see that episode.
I've never watched it. I haven't watched it yet.
I haven't either.
Stop.
Don't.
This is not just buffoonery. This is a show with art. They get into stuff. It is not just Cookie acting up and acting the fool.
After the first season, though, it lost me. It got a little too much.
Interesting. I've yet to watch it, and that was one of the reasons why I have kind of stayed away, is because the hype surrounding it was so much about Cookie, and then you see the snippets with the neck rolling and all of that type of stuff, and I just wasn't there for that. So I might have to check it out.
Now, Amber, I'm going to go with this one. I think there are two. Last week we talked about Prince. It's like either you like Prince or you like Michael Jackson. My thing is either you like Empire or you like Being Mary Jane.
I've never seen Being Mary Jane. It's on my list.
I truly, truly enjoy that show, and I'm a guy.
Wow,
okay?
really?
I'm surprised that it's on BET.
Are you?
Really great writing. Now,
I wouldn't take him for Being Mary Jane. He said he's surprised.
Now, here, I'm going to get right back to Mary Jane.
Oh, my God.
I put on the website, because we are in this such diverse viewing audience, that if Good Times existed today, Thelma would have a white boyfriend.
Don't do that.
That's for real, okay? All these shows that I named earlier have this interracial relationship thing going on. The only one that didn't was Being Mary Jane, okay? But I watched Being Mary Jane last week, and she's dating a white guy. They finally sold out.
Really?
They finally
That's
sold out.
selling out.
That's selling out to him. It really is. That's what he
crazy.
calls
Because you're
selling
going
out.
along with everybody else.
That's crazy.
It's
It
ridiculous.
can't be. It can't be
It's
just
ridiculous.
experience. It can't just be an experience. It can't just be part of life. It's got to be selling
8
out.
shows.
Are you kidding me?
Amber, the official black chick watching. How do you feel about so many interracial relationships now on television?
Let me tell you.
Go ahead, girl. Let's go.
Here we go. Here we go.
Wow. So actually, the trend, and in the last few years, not several years, not decades, but few years, yes, you do see white Jews as black chicks. But let me break it down for you. The way that
Please do.
ends up being, if you see an interracial relationship on TV, here's what it is. It's a white guy with an Asian woman, or a white chick with any color of the rainbow, because everyone wants the pristine white woman. So that's how that breaks down. And actually, I do a presentation about Black chick watching in different places, conventions, libraries, and stuff like that. And there was this one Asian guy in the audience, and I told him about that. I was like, no one wants to be with the Black chick. And in real life, Black women, more than any other group, want to be with their own race. Black women want to, in real life, Black women want to be with Black men more than any other group wants to be with their own race. So when it comes to that, the Asian man said, actually, the Asian guy never gets to be with a white girl. Now, let's break this down. First of all, he educates me, because I wouldn't know, because I'm not a man and I'm not Asian, that that's a thing, that there aren't a lot of white women with Asian guys on TV. But the way he said it is that Asian guys don't get to be with the white woman.
Wow.
Like, this is a pleasure. Like, this is a trophy to be had. Now, when it comes to...
They are amazing.
Don't make me. I swear, don't make me. Don't you dare make me.
White men own the earth, basically. Problems in everything, okay? Let's not even scammer. So anyway, and so when it's like the patriarchy starts to mix things up, and the pristine and the people, like, one of the things that I take away points for is white women who are continually being saved. And most of the time, they don't want it. I can take care of myself.
Oh,
knock
girl.
on the head,
Oh,
you know what I
girl.
mean? Knock on the head, kidnap, all sorts of stuff.
I told
And
you love her.
When it's the Black chick, no one looks out for the Black chick in real life or in the media.
Girl,
They
yes.
say
If you don't
we're
preach.
we're masculine, we're angry, it's the strong Black woman, and it's always merely being a man. So when there's someone in the patriarchy who's mixing it up and is like, here is someone who is worthy. This is someone who should be saved. This is someone who is vulnerable and beautiful and sexual and all of these things, I'm here for it.
Okay, then. That's what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I'm talking about. And I'll go even further than that. If you'll notice that a lot of these roles are in relationships, it's not your quote unquote average Black girl. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I got you.
It's
Yeah,
not your
I
quote
do.
unquote
I got
average
you.
Black woman.
I got you.
This woman has to be exceptional. She has to
Thank
be
you.
she has to be sexy, smart. She
I got
has to
you.
be able to build
Right.
the house, tear it down,
Yeah.
blow it up, and build it back up
Bring
again.
home the bacon fried up in a pan.
This is that Black woman who's
They'll
the
make us
problem
feel like a man.
solver. This
Right.
is that Black woman.
I
And when
agree.
she finally gets to be soft, when she finally gets to be sexy, when she finally gets to be vulnerable, then she gets attacked. By who? By us.
I have to agree with you on that.
Okay?
I
Wait.
They're not
Where's
going.
that last-
I said when she finally gets to be sexy, soft, and vulnerable, she gets attacked by us. For what? For having someone love her who doesn't look like her. Okay? My thing is, we get so thrown away as extras and also rans and the secretary and the sassy housekeeper and this, that, and the third. We don't get to be ourselves as just women. Point blank, period. My thing is, when do you see the mom, in the sitcom who still has, who's not a single mom, who's not
Thank you.
a doctor, who's not, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? You have to be,
Yeah.
even our sitcom women have to be 100% exceptional,
Yep.
It's really, it's not, there's no equity there, when you see the girl that you see at the grocery store who could be for example, Carol Brady. Okay? Carol Brady.
Got it.
Carol Brady was a mom. What
A
else?
lovely lady.
Lovely lady. What else?
Busy with three very lovely girls.
That's all she was. She was busy. She was busy with three very lovely girls. She's a member of the PTA, the whole hookup.
You're a funny guy.
Who is the Black Carol Brady? Name one.
I didn't know. I don't have that on this paper.
Feel me.
If you could, it would only be one.
Only, if ever. You know what
And
I'm
who
saying?
was that? Who was that one?
Don't. And if you say Florida Evans, I'm gonna choke slap you. I swear.
No,
If Florida Evans was on Good Times today, she would be making pumpkin pies
Don't
for
play.
Christmas and
whatever,
Thanksgiving.
Patty
Daryl.
pies, don't play.
Whatever.
Pumpkin
I'm not
pies.
on you. I'm
Because
not on
Thelma
you.
has a white boyfriend.
I'm not on you.
Now,
But
there's something. Go on.
But what I want to say is, what do we want then? I mean, what do we want? I mean, we wanted equality. What do we want? We're complaining about
I don't think it's
interracial. But I'm saying we're complaining about. I mean, Daryl's complaining about interracial marriage. I'm just saying, what do we want out of this deal?
I don't think it's a complaint so much as equity and to be able to have our shows and things be shown. I won't even say our shows because that's a separation.
We still got to build
Right.
what we have. We still got to do our thing. That's all.
But what I'm saying is
don't-
this. But what I'm saying is this. In our neighborhoods, we don't have a lot of white people coming over having dinner or
Why
doing
not?
things like that. I mean, it's probably in some cases, but I'm saying the majority of it is not set up that way.
I figured that.
So what is it? Break that down. So what do you mean in this context?
Okay, what I'm saying in terms of in terms of television, in terms of equity, why can't there be a version of Game of Thrones that includes characters that look like us without them being subservient, without them being non-heroes?
Well, there will be. But
Why
it'll
can't
just be
there
two.
be?
It'll just be two. The two black limit.
Oh,
Till they
Lord.
get killed.
Oh, Lord. I mean, that's one of the things that I do love about TV, let's say in the UK. Do you watch a lot of UK shows?
I grew up on it. Like, I'm an Anglophile.
Girl, me too. Me too.
Oh, Amber, make sure you get Carmen's phone number.
Right.
Girl, we gotta talk. I want to be on your show. Look, because the new season of Luther is coming on.
Nice.
See?
Now, what's interesting also, since we're talking about race, I was listening to Amber's podcast and you said something. Black people cannot be racist. Is that true?
In my opinion, and I understand that it's very controversial even to other black people, but it is my opinion.
I think that's when we look at the definitions of, and people need to, and I've said this, and people need to kind of contextualize it. Prejudice, bigotry, and racism are three very different things. They're not interchangeable concepts. When you look at racism, racism is a system and a structure that's caused by a people being in power and having a power structure that can make another people subservient and treating them as such. Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
Bigotry is not liking somebody because of what they look like or who they or what they do, cultural or whatever. That's bigotry. It's not racism. People have these two terms confused.
Why are you looking at me? Why don't you look at
No,
Whit?
because you people is what you say.
That's all. That's my girl. That's right.
So I'm saying when we deal with those kinds of things, people need to have their definitions in. I get you, girl. I feel you.
Let me tell you something.
Uh-oh.
I have this former white friend. He's still white, but he wants nothing to do with me. We were having a conversation about racism, and I said black people can't be racist. And he took out his phone to let me know that the dictionary says that it's when one person of a race doesn't like another race or something like that. And I was like, let's say you go to work and you have a boss, and that boss every day says, if you don't have sex with me, I'm going to fire you. You're not going to be able to take care of your kids. You're not going to be able to take care of yourself. You're not going to be able to pay your rent, so you better have sex with me. Okay? And then that employee says, listen, if you try to make me have sex with you, I'll bite your penis off. Now, somebody who's not as enlightened would say, well, it's sexual harassment either way. She didn't say, I'm going to talk to HR. She said, I'm going to bite your penis off, so that's sexual harassment and it's a threat of assault. So those are two bad things. As opposed to, I'm reacting to the system that's set up to destroy my life. Of course I'm going to have issues with it.
Exactly.
I not that I am advertising this show, but I do listen to it. It's funny. It's a little graphic for me at times, but Corey Holcomb has a podcast. He has a show on YouTube, and he said, someone on the show said, an ant can't tell an elephant that they're racist. Does that make sense?
It does. It
I've
does.
heard it's like throwing pebbles at a castle.
Okay. Okay.
And I think the power issue is what people miss when they're talking
Yeah.
about this. Because the thing about it is, okay, I know that there are white people who experience bigotry. That's a fact. There are white people that experience bigotry who have been discriminated against in certain settings based on what they look like. Okay. That's not the same as a system of a social system, interconnected and set up to create a level of superiority, inferiority, and to oppress people as such in media. And I'm going to ask you this before, if as long as we have a little bit more time to talk in media, how do you feel about the aspect of that power structure piece? Because a lot of times when you do see a black character, there's a level of power. Even with 24, when they had the black president, there's a level of power that is shown but not always attained. Talk to me about that.
I only sort of understand the question. Could you?
It's like we can be powerful, we can be smart, but only so much so. Because at the end of the day, somebody still has to save Olivia Pope. At the end of the day, somebody still has to help so and so. You know what I mean?
I think okay. Here's my thing. I don't have a problem with that because that's par for the course, and it happens to white people too.
Got it.
I have more of an issue with like the black guy's thing is that he's cool. That's the thing they've got going for them. Or it's that there's almost sort of an overcompensating, and because everybody gets saved, and Olivia saves everybody.
Right.
You know what I mean? She in her way, she can't fight, she can't kick butt, but she saves a lot of people. She's
Got
the
it.
cornerstone of that. So, yeah, I haven't noticed that. That hasn't been a thing for me because it's not something that's been on my radar.
Ah.
But let me ask you now. I'm trying to wrap my my arms around this. What is the black guy is cool thing? I missed that or something. I was daydreaming.
One of the things that so black women never. I think on the next episode of my hit podcast, Black Chick Watching, I'm going to talk about the show Jessica Jones and about
7.8.
black.
I did not like that. Go on.
And
No Daredevil.
black men with white women on TV. And here's the thing. Black women never made the crossover to being sexy because Asian women did, Latino women, Hispanic women definitely did, but black women never made that leap over versus black men who are like the epitome of sexuality and manliness, and there's still the buck mentality going on. They made it over in that way that they get to be a man. They get to be superheroes. They get to be superheroes.
Wow.
You know what I would love? I would love if they would make a show about Storm. Wouldn't that be awesome?
Yes, it would. Played by the right person.
That would be so badass.
You got to be careful with the cast.
True.
Well, I'll tell you
True.
what, Amber, we got to get ready to wrap up and get into our final parts of the show. I want to sincerely thank you from the bottom of my heart. You know how much you know I'm sincere because you've helped out a lot, and I appreciate the time and the effort that you've taken to help out the Full Circle Podcast show and me as well. Okay.
Thank you.
Oh, am I going away?
No, we're going to get into the apology in the final of the show.
Okay.
You can hang
But
till our end.
Amber, I want to thank you for your honesty also.
Absolutely.
That's what this show is about, honesty, and I want to thank you for that.
I absolutely love your spirit and your
Right.
candor, girl. Thank you.
Well, you'll get another listener tonight.
Yeah, I'm already sold.
So we're going to get to the end of the show.
All right. So here's what we do. Every week we do an apology. This is one of Darryl's things that I thought was really an amazing thing, and I'm hoping that you'll enjoy and you'll be a part of this. So what I'm going to ask you, first, Daryl's going to go, and hey, Whitney, have you got one today?
Yeah, I've got
All
a little
right,
something.
all right.
It's
So-
not going to be so sentimental this week, but we got it.
anything you want to talk about, or if there's anything on your mind to do or to share, it's absolutely that. This is the apology section, and I'm going to ask you, what are you apologizing for this week?
Well, I have my apology, and my wife asked what my apology was going to be, and I told her, and she says, "Are all your apologies going to be about girls, about past women?" And I'm like, "Yeah, but I've done a lot of bad things. I'm a bad person."
No, you're
okay?
not. No.
I want to apologize to the girl in high school
Here we
that
go.
I was attracted to, but I did not approach her because her shade of color was not in style.
Oh, come on.
Did he really do
Come
that? He really did
man.
that. He did that. You did
That
that?
would be
Oh,
pathetic.
wow.
Like, he did that.
It's the
That's it. That's him.
You know, okay, El DeBarge was what was hot back then, and the brown-skinned guys weren't in, okay? Wesley Snipes came in, and then all of a sudden, dark-skinned guys became popular, okay?
Do you see this look on my face?
I'm apologizing for it, says the lightest guy in Detroit. I'm apologizing, okay?
Wow.
I see
And
you've got
Amber,
jokes.
you're not too dark either, okay?
No,
Wow.
I'm light and bright.
Right.
This
So
one
I'm
right here. Okay,
apologizing.
okay.
But
I'm gonna move on because I can't even. If we
let me
Get him.
let me touch on
Would
this.
you get him?
I'm gonna touch on this.
please get him.
It's nothing more beautiful to me than a dark-skinned woman. Beautiful. I love them.
No.
But hold on. I don't have a preference either way. It's just what's there. But black, beautiful women, I love them. So let me go to my apology, and I don't know what's going on with you, Darryl. We're gonna have to have a
What's going on with you?
we're gonna have to have a long talk here.
Ooh.
Okay.
What's your
This is
apology
my
this
apology,
week,
and
baby?
it was a long time ago. I was in the 3rd grade at St. Philip's Lutheran School, and it was a girl in my class that had leukemia. Actually, she was the daughter of one of the miracles. After school,
Wow.
after school, I went outside, and there was some kids that went to the school. She had a wig on because she had lost her hair. These kids pulled her wig off.
Wow.
I can remember that I went and I got her wig and I gave it back to her. And I'm apologizing for those 2 kids, even though she's no
Wow.
longer here. But that stuck with me. And I just thought that was just the worst thing, even as a child. And we can be really cruel. But I'm apologizing to her in heaven for what those kids did.
Wow.
Beautiful.
That is beautiful. Okay, Amber, are you ready to share an apology, or do you have one you'd like to share with us today?
Oh, I prepped.
Please and thank you. What do you like to apologize today for?
It's actually something that happened yesterday.
Ouch.
Fresh.
Yeah. So my friend moved from, I'm not going to say where, just in case somebody accidentally. But anyhow, she moved from one neighborhood in a city, a very diverse city, where there were mostly white people, and then she moved to a place in the same city where she was one of the only white people. And she was telling me about her experience and how she was uncomfortable being around all these colored people. Not her words.
Okay.
Wait a minute. Colored. Hey, my ears just stuck right up in the air. But go ahead.
Calm down,
kids
y'all.
ago.
Calm down.
Take it easy.
Yeah, I use that.
Wow.
I use the word color.
Okay.
So anyhow, because that's what it felt like to some extent. But anyway, so I want to apologize and offer congratulations to all the white people who have to suffer through being the only person of their race somewhere. I can understand what that's like as a black woman, but it's not fair to them. And they shouldn't have to put up with it. And if I could steal her and take her to a place where everyone was milk white, then I would. But I can't.
Girl.
Wow.
Girl.
I told you, she's amazing, isn't she?
Hey, we love it. Keep
my
it
God.
real, as they say.
Oh.
We love it.
Amber, again, we want to thank you so much for being a guest on the show.
Thank you.
And we'll look forward to more of your podcast, Black Chick Watching and Black Sexy Geeky and Mental.
We
Okay.
love you, Amber. Thank you.
Feeling is mutual.
Awesome, girl. Okay, and we're going to wrap the show up. So you can always visit us at www.fullcirclepodcastshow.com. And all of our info is there. And you can email us at fullcirclepodcastshow@gmail.com for questions, comments, or if you want to be a guest. And don't forget to like us on Facebook. Where else are we? iTunes and that?
Yeah, we're on iTunes now. Stitcher, iTunes, and of course our YouTube video as well.
Great.
All right. Take a stand for something or you'll fall for anything. This is the Full Circle Podcast Show.
We're out.
Take care.
Take care.
Crime.
Let's get it together.
Education.
Let's get it together.
Marriage.
Let's get it together.
Politics.
Let's get it together. Full circle.
Poverty.
Let's get it together.
Race.
Let's get it together. Full circle.